I'm Steve Turano with Ask a Real Expert. This video is going out to Max. He says, "Hey Steve, I wear a heart rate monitor when I exercise. I'm 6'3", 225 pounds. It says I burn 250 calories during a 15-minute jog. Is that accurate?" He says, "I also wear it when I weight train for 30 minutes and it says I burn 400 calories. Is this accurate?" Max, I hate to tell you the bad news, but neither one of those is accurate. Here's why. During 15 minutes of jogging, somebody typically burns around 70 calories. And you're a big guy, 6'3", 225 pounds. So let's say we increase that by 50%. Okay, that brings it up to about 100, maybe 110 calories for 15 minutes. And that's a lot of calorie utilization for 15 minutes of jogging. So that's a far cry from 250. And that's the problem I have with heart rate monitors or calorie indicators on treadmills. You know, as you begin to incline the treadmill like this, you're burning 600, 800, 1,000, 1,200 calories per mile or per hour. And that is just so inaccurate. But then again, if treadmill manufacturers gave you the real numbers, nobody would buy them. So you got to remember, the body is very efficient. In other words, it can go a long way on very few calories. So when people wear heart rate monitors, they get this misperception of calorie utilization. It looks like they're burning thousands of calories. Then they wonder why I'm not losing any body fat. Or it indicates that they're burning thousands of calories, so they keep eating thinking that they're creating a calorie deficit. And that's not the case. Now, with regards to weight training for 30 minutes, burning 400 calories, that's inaccurate as well. Because you got to remember, when we lift weights, we're only lifting it for 10, 20, maybe 30 seconds, and then we put it down and rest for 2 or 3 minutes. So that is not a whole lot of exertion. So during 30 minutes of lifting, you are probably lifting the weights all of 10 minutes, meaning you're underneath the weight and lifting it for 10 minutes of those 30. The other 20 minutes, you're resting. And the average person burns about 1 calorie per minute. So let's say your calorie utilization while you're exercising, let's say you lifted weights for an entire minute. Let's say that quadrupled your calorie utilization. That would bring it up to 4 calories per minute. But again, we're only lifting it for 20 or 30 seconds, so that brings it down to about 2 calories, for the time you're lifting. Not a lot of calories. So that 400 calorie mark is just a huge estimate with regards to, or a gross overestimate for 30 minutes of lifting. And this is why I'm not real crazy about heart rate monitors. If you've ever seen people in the aerobics room, they got their heart rate monitors on and they're checking their pulse like they're, 90-year-olds in the emergency room ready to go to a code blue. They're, oh my God, my heart rate's at 150. My fat burning zone should only be 130. Oh my God, life is going to end. No. You know what you have to do? You have to get out of your fat burning zone once in a while when you're doing cardio. By becoming anaerobic when you're doing cardio, you actually force your heart and your lungs and your cardiovascular system to work harder. So next week and next month, when you hit that point where your heart rate should be 150, it's not. It's at 130. Your body has changed and your cardiovascular system has improved. So now the exercise that used to make your heart rate 150 only makes it 130 because you're in that much better shape. Now you're able to exercise harder or faster or longer and keep your heart rate at 130, allowing you to burn a few extra calories without becoming anaerobic. So again, that's why if you want to improve your cardiovascular performance and therefore your fat burning ability or improving your heart rate or your fat burning zone, you have to become anaerobic when you're doing cardio. That's why I tell people go out and run a mile as fast as you can. Go out and do some wind sprints or do some 220-yard sprints at 70%. Get to the point where you're cramping. You're like, oh my God, I'm dying here. Get it to the point where your heart rate's 180, 190. That improves your cardiovascular performance. Again, so you can then exercise at a faster rate, at a faster pace for longer periods of time without then stepping out of your fat burning zone. So you can exercise longer and harder and still be in your fat burning zone. And to your last question with regards to calculating your protein intake and percentage, you were right. I'm Steve Turano. Ask a real expert. Train smart, train hard.